As if there weren't enough reasons already to not really be looking forward to this Thursday night matchup between the Bears and Commanders in prime time. I mean, my God. Bears football in prime time. We love that. Although you could say, admittedly, America deserves it. But with all the reasons to not be looking forward to the game, then, Bears fans, the NFL world finds out a few hours before the game that Chicago Bears legend, icon, NFL icon, Dick Butkus passed away peacefully in his sleep because he was such a beast and such a man that death wouldn't bother confronting him when he was awake, the coward. Dick Butkus, gone at the age of 80. And I think I'll be doing a separate video to talk about Butkus, his career, his legacy, his impact in the next day or two. But we are here. Ultimately, life goes on. That's the reality of life. Life goes on. So we've got to talk about this game that just happened. And oh my God, what to make out of this. And this is obviously, a game going into it that there was a lot of thought of, hey, if the Bears lose this one, Eberflus might be shown the door. And frankly, I saw nothing in this game to me that thinks that Eberflus shouldn't still be fired, and I'd still fire him anyways. Because the Bears are kind of fortunate and lucky, frankly, to walk out with this one. I don't care what Bears fans are going to try and hype this up and try to overrate this. Like, yeah, a win's a win. And they put up 40 points. That is great, right? Like, it's an uncommon thing when we're talking about Bears football. But the reality is that if they were playing a better coach team than the Commanders, because Ron Rivera, you want to talk about coaches on the fucking hot seat. Yeah, Eberflus sucks, but so does Ron Rivera. The fuck was he doing? You're down 16 points, and you're kicking a field goal? When you've got the Bears defense on the ropes? How dumb was that? Like, even when you talk about late in the fourth quarter, they miss a field goal. It still would have been a one-score game. Just, unbelievably stupid, right? And if you're talking about, hey, Eric Bieniemy, he went to Washington to have a chance to run his own offense to show what he could do. In the first half, I was not impressed. I'll put it that way. Second half obviously got a little bit better, because the Commanders went in, made some halftime adjustments, said, oh yeah, that's right, the Eberflus defense absolutely sucks. And they do, and they started feasting on it in the second half. So Sam Howell threw for almost 400 damn yards. But lots of little things in this game, right? Like, Cody Whitehair, how are you so bad, so very bad at snapping the football? I don't get it. How is he so bad at that? It was inspiring to see Velus Jones Jr. playing as a gunner on special teams, because that totally justifies the third-round pick. Hashtag fire polls. Jesus Christ, man. Then, as you're watching DJ Moore, how many times did I talk about it this year? Get DJ Moore 10-plus targets. They actually did tonight. 10 targets. 8 receptions, 230 yards, 3 touchdowns. Fucking incredible. Even when the refs, called him out, and I don't know, did we ever even see an angle of whether he was actually out of bounds or not? No matter. You brought this guy in to be your number one option. Go at him like he's your number one option, and they freaking did, right? Think about this. Justin Fields threw for 282 yards in this game. 230 of them were to DJ Moore. And how stupid are Ron Rivera and Jack Del Rio defensively to not have bracket coverage, double coverage, shadow coverage on DJ Moore all game? That was moronic. And even if you say, well, sometimes they did and their safeties just blew it, how can you not coach them to understand, hey, if you're going to allow something to happen, don't let it happen to DJ Moore, because he will kill you. Let these other guys try and beat you, because they can't. Incredible, right? But DJ Moore, spectacular in this one. What was impressive to me, though, for the Bears is how their offensive line was able to protect Justin Fields relatively well, and then were able to open up some gaping holes in the running game. Like, for a Washington defensive line, it has 4 first-round picks starting. The Bears' offensive line handled their business in the running game. They carved their asses up. Khalil Herbert was averaging over 4 yards a carry until he went out with the ankle injury. Excuse me. Roschon Johnson went out with the concussion. But they were carving him up on the ground. Now, of course, here comes gutless Getsy. Put him up. DJ Moore's been killing him all game long. They can't stop him. They don't want to stop him. They can't handle it. They can't deal with it. So here's what we're going to do. We're down to our fullback. Carly Blasting game. We're going to mix it up. We're going to do something that nobody ever expects. We've had all the success. Throwing the football. 1st and 10. Fullback dive. 2nd and 10. Fullback dive. They took the ball out of Justin Fields' fucking hands. I don't fucking get it. Like, Luke Getsy is fucking stuck on stupid. And I know I'm talking about a Bears team that just scored 40 points offensively and won. But this didn't feel like a massive win here, right? Like, for those that are going to say, well, you got to give Justin Fields his props. He barely completed 50% of his passes. And he feasted at times on some really bad blown coverages. But golly. Like, even when you look at the couple of the throws to DJ Moore, like that last touchdown that damn near was picked, that could have been a whole different look, right? I don't try to shit on the guy. I'm just like, seeing some similar traits here in terms of what Bears fans are doing in terms of buying in too much, like they did with Trubisky, if you remember, late in 2020, as he started putting up some decent numbers against some really shitty defenses. Be careful, right? I'm encouraged and heartened by what I've seen out of Justin Fields the past couple of weeks, yes, but context matters. The Broncos absolutely suck defensively, and this Commanders secondary is god-awful, right? It was god-awful, and they were certainly god-awful on this day. But the Eberflus defense in the second half, like, what the fuck does Matt Eberflus do at halftime? Do they make any adjustments at all? Are they capable of making any adjustments at all? Because they just let Sam Howell carve them up. In the first half, looked really good, right? Like, Sam Howell wasn't getting a bunch of time. Eric Bieniemy's play calling was shit. The Bears were getting some pressure on him. Like, the defense was getting off the field, putting the ball back in Justin Fields' hands. The second half was astounding. And even early on in the game, like, it didn't end up mattering, but the Bears were moving the ball on the Commanders. They had him on their heels, and Eberflus lets them off the hook. 4th and short, and he's fucking kicking a field goal. Like, last week, you went for it on 4th down with the game, in the balance. Why wouldn't you do it here early in this game? Did you get scared off by last week? Fuck last week. Put that out of your mind. And maybe, just maybe, and I'm going to be totally honest here, maybe I just found myself not giving as much of a fuck about this game because I know this is a lost season for Chicago. The news of Butkus is passing. It's Thursday night. It's the Commanders. The fucking Commanders, for God's sakes. How bad did that have to feel? They just gave up 40 to the fucking Bears. They're sitting there showing your new owner up there. This looked an awful lot like Daniel Snyder football, didn't it? Holy shit. I mean, Sam Howell looked okay, but let's keep some context here. If I'm talking about Justin Fields feasted on a shitty secondary by primarily forcing the ball to DJ Moore, that's true. Let's also be honest. Sam Howell was able to feast in the second half when the Bears were already up big against a really, really, really bad Bears secondary that only got more depleted with injuries and shit as the game went along. So I don't know. Now the Bears have a week and a half. Eberflus isn't going to get fired, even though he absolutely should be, because he sucks, and you even saw that in this game. Meanwhile, I think the Commanders, you look at Ron Rivera, he should definitely be on the hot seat here, because you cannot lose this game. Short week, you just played the defending NFC champ Eagles as tight as you did. Like, that makes you question, like, what the hell, the Eagles went to overtime with this Commanders team? Yikes. The Bears now get to prepare for Minnesota, but as much as Bear fans are excited because it's been so long and they finally didn't give up 25 points, isn't that something? It's still important to keep in mind, this is a 1-4 football team And they almost pissed this one away tonight. So enjoy it if you must, that's fine. Convince yourself they won it for butt kiss, whatever. But make no mistake about it, this is Bears football! And I'm not going to sit there and talk about it screws up the tank, because they were bound to win something at some point, right? However, this does start to get the feelings of one of those nightmare Bears football types of seasons where they win 5 to 7 games. Feels as a couple of really good games and some other real stinkers, but people only focus on those good games and think that means everything. And you don't get the house cleaning that you need in terms of the GM and the coaching staff. And it's a fucking nightmare all over again. Ugh. Bears football.